around here speak basketball.
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball
Podcast.
I am your host, Freddie Rivas. And who, sir, are you?
Me, I'm the producer. I'm Matt Duncan. I'm here. I'm having a good time. Freddie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. Excited by people I know getting vaccinations and stuff like that.
Oh my God, everybody's finding a vaccine, doing it the old Canadian way where, you just have to keep, hunting them down and letting your friends know where you can get one. That's how we do it here in Canada. We don't have government. Yeah.
Canadian Heritage Minute is really just people tweeting at each other, I think.
Yeah. Really
some progress.
Yeah.
We had a really fun pod today. We got Alan Shane Lewis and George Brooks, and we talk about a weird catfishing question I made up, the most entertaining Raptor, what teams are being slept on.
Yeah.
And we kind of just have a look at this Washington game coming up and check in with how people are feeling at the end of the season.
I feel like I bring up Bill Gates a lot.
You do. Bill Gates comes in quite a bit, but Flubber makes it in, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But Matt, if people want to help us, they want to find us, they want to share our pod, spread the word, make us richer than Bill and Melinda combined. How can they do that?
Well, if you are still rocking a Windows 95, I hope you are. You want to go to your Netscape or what was it called? Netscape, the browser?
No idea.
I think it was something like that. But you pop that on, you turn on the modem, the 56K modem, and you go to dunkspodcast.com. That is our website. That has all our links on it. And of course, we are on a network, and they are called the Sonar Network. You can listen to us there, as well as many new podcasts. Seems like they're getting new ones added all the time. And, don't forget about that and more button, folks, when you're on that Sonar side, because you click on that and you're still going to see some great gems that pop up on that front page. And we've got our Patreon. We've got our Shopify on our link trees. You can find those on our Instagram and Twitter bios as well. And just thanks for supporting. Thank you. I don't say this enough. I'm kind of off Facebook, but the Give Me Some Raptors news guys are our Quickish Questions, I think, come from there primarily. And thank you very much for the input. We really appreciate it. And it's a lot of fun.
Totally. And, hilarious questions, and it's good stuff.
Really getting picked on about the Space Jam thing.
You gotta watch Space Jam.
Gotta watch Space Jam.
I don't know what to say until you watch Space Jam. People won't let it go. And I'm also encouraging that. So if you're listening, please fire away some Space Jam questions for Matt. Let's pressure him here. Okay. But I think we're basically ready to pop in and start talking about the pod. So let me just say Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, defund the police, and email your city councilors. And with that, I think let's get going here, Maddie. If you think we're good to go, please just give me those sweet words. Okay. Okay, let's get going here on our two very special guests. First guest up is one of my favorite guests. He's on the podcast a bunch. He was in a dunk off with Sonny Weems and DeMar DeRozan. He cheated me in Bump. He's on the Great Canadian Baking Show, which I think I actually got the title right. Even if I didn't. He's amazing. Matt's like, I think he did. He's amazing. He's hilarious. We're very, very excited to have him. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Alan Shane Lewis.
And I just want to say there are no asterisks in bump. There are only winners and losers.
Wow.
All right. That's it.
I want to say so petty of you for keeping that going, even though I bring it up every time.
The petty king. I won't be out petty.
Aside, for anyone who wants to know like the real like tea on that bump game, I hit a bunch of shots I normally don't hit. And then when Alan bumped my ball away and I went to go get it, I was so tired that I could barely breathe. But when people were like, do it again, I was like, yeah, we better do it again. But a part of me was like, I need to sit down. Anyway,
and I was hoping on that. That's what my game plan was. I was like,
it worked. What? It worked well.
Yeah. The late night scouting worked.
Wow. I can't believe I've been late night scouted. That feels good. Also a bit creepy, but okay, let's bring on guest number 2. She's amazing. She's hilarious. We know each other from our Toronto comedy days, but we're hardcore Raptors fans. She's the biggest Stanimal fan I do believe in the world. And she was also at the Clippers Raptors game in person yesterday, which is just mind-blowing for a lot of reasons. And you got to check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, where she does kind of gives you tips on bets and fun stuff like that. So give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for George Brooks Hancock.
I forgot this was my sound.
Yeah, it's definitely like a forced slowdown type sound.
I can't hit the beat. Oh, I found it.
Yeah, this is like you're waiting for something in a video game.
Yeah, this is like Zelda music.
Do you give it to every second guess, or is this just a sound I always get?
This is your specific sound.
Oh my god. That's
And it's
beautiful.
It's your specific royalty-free Matt chosen
You guys
sound.
composed it for me, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Isn't that right, Matt?
Yeah.
Matty, good sir, please give me your most delicious Raptors sting.
Hashtag RTZ.
Meow. Okay, let's just get right into, I think, what is a major event for this podcast, which is someone physically being at the game, which I don't believe has happened since March 2020. George, I saw the picture. I saw the photo evidence. You're with a bunch of buds. It's amazing to see. You were at the Clippers game wearing Raptors gear at the Staples Center, I presume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I guess give me a taste of what it was like.
Well, it's probably the most exciting thing I've done in a year. For sure. There was a lot of rules and regulations, so it was kind of stressful.
Okay.
But like watching, because also we didn't get the best seats because like they're more money than normal and whatnot. But
Right.
the seats we ended up having were sick. Like I also haven't been to an NBA games since like 2018, maybe. Like I didn't go.
Was the last one at Staples that you
Yeah.
went to?
Yeah. Like it was before Kawhi was on the team for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
The Tobias Harris Clippers. Sorry.
it was just like I forgot what it was like to like watch basketball in person. So that was fun.
Alan or Matt, if you have any questions, I feel like this is okay for just a free for all period. I want to ask, what was the sound like? Was it quiet? Was it weird?
It wasn't quiet because they like, there was some crowd there, pretty light in comparison to normal, but like they pumped in sound.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there was so much booing when the Raptors had to do like a free throw that I was like, finally, I was like, that can't just be the people in here. And my friend Norm was like, no, they're definitely pumping it in because there's a lot of Raptors fans there too, because it's LA and transplants and everything. So that's why I was like, at least 25% of this like super diminished capacity is here for the Raptors. So the booing doesn't make sense. But it was real loud, but it wasn't loud like a regular game. Like you could really hear like a dribble. Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I mean was like because it wasn't like just like all sorts of noise everywhere. It was kind of like isolated, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like, was it echoey?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. It was really intimate. Like it felt like you were kind of watching your friends play more than a normal game. And like, I kept yelling like, for like Freddie Gillespie was having a run there and I was really cheering for him.
Of course.
And then Jalen Harris, what a game for Jalen Harris.
Oh yeah, Steph Curry over here.
Yeah. Ooh-wee. So I was hooting and hollering, but my friends told me they don't think that they could hear me.
No,
well,
they can hear you. They could
hear you.
I hope so.
Yeah, if LeBron can hear fans from the 300 zones, anyone can hear anyone anywhere. That's my my mantra.
Were you happy that
a life mantra?
Yeah, pretty much. Just even when I'm just out and about in the grocery store, I'm like, you know what? If LeBron can hear people from 300s, I can get this eggplant. So let's do it.
Hey,
it's all about veggies, baby.
LeBron's like he is like extra perceptive. So I really do believe that he's that type of guy who wasn't there a play one time where someone's like, what happened on this play in the third quarter? And he's like, let me just recount 10 minutes straight for you. And everyone's like, please calm down, Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, there's a moment like that where he kind of Rain Manned an entire sequence of NBA plays. And I don't know, he watches like 4 games a night or something like that. Like it's crazy. His kind of way of his superpower when it comes to basketball is also keeping his body healthy, but also like a cerebral kind of way of looking at it. Like,
That's the thing about watching basketball. Like and I know that you guys already know this, but it kind of blows my mind how smart these players are. Like, I think people who don't watch sports are really just like dumb athletes. I'm like, they are geniuses. Like Kyle Lowry is a genius.
100%.
And it's really cool to see that.
It's why when people are like, why don't they just dunk it? It's like, I think a million different reasons that are going to bore you, but here I go.
Yeah, for not thinking these players are like, they're using physics on the ball for spin, English, all that type of stuff. They're calculating how fast they are going and how soft they have to put the ball in the glass every single time. Like all of that takes like your brain to calculate crazy amounts of information and data within like 0.5 of a second. Like they are geniuses. Like that's crazy why people don't, or when people think like, oh, athletes are just like whatever. I'm like, no, that your brain still makes you move things. Like you have to do these things on the fly. Like that's a smart person. That's a smart person doing that stuff right there.
And you're playing, especially in like a national league or something, like you're playing against other geniuses.
Yeah, seriously.
Really tough.
And then also like scouting, coaches, IQ. So it's like adaptive as well. Okay, you know what? Let's get to some Raptors questions, but I did want to just kind of like peek behind the curtain. And I feel like I'm the only one that asked questions. And Matt, I'm sorry, all my questions were audio-based questions, so I feel like I took away your.
Yeah, mine was going to be audio-based too. I just wanted to know if you could hear Steve Ballmer at all.
Okay, that's valid. Could you hear Steve Ballmer?
He's all amped up right now. His buddy's single again, and he's, they're gonna hit
his
the club.
Buddy's single. We got a Bill and Melinda joke 5 minutes in the pod. Well.
Oh no! Sorry,
hear Steve Ballmer?
No.
You could hear Steve.
George, it's a joke question, right? Okay, let's start. Let's go to you, Alan, first. And last week I asked on the pod with Ryan and Anthony if they thought this kind of road trip was a potential nail in the coffin. We kind of all aired on the side of like potentially, probably. And it does seem like perhaps at least there's been 3 nails in the coffin. Nurse was asked about the Wizard game and called it like, the last chance saloon. Because I think it is big that if we do beat the Wizards, we gain a full game on them and we'll still have the tiebreaker, etc. But, it's like we're in run the table territory and also needing the Pacers or Wizards to more or less lose the table. So just I want to ask like where you're at this point in the season 7 games to go.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard as a Raptors fan when you want to cheer on your team and watch them win games, and you know that it's more beneficial for them to lose these games because, down the line, there's going to be more success when it comes to it. Like, I feel like the Raptors haven't drafted in the lottery in a very long time. I want to say Joey Graham, but I know that's not true. But the amount of stuff we can do with players who are like second round, late first round draft picks. So I'm excited for that. So it is hard for as a Raptor fan who wants to see this team succeed and whatnot. And yeah, it's such a difficult position to be in. Like, to be honest, I've been kind of tuned out of the NBA for like 2 weeks or so. I got back in it this week and it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, especially now with everything that's going on and kind of seeing all this, it's like it's hard to turn on a Raptor game and cheer for a team that like, no, but I want you to lose. It's like last night I found myself just watching it going like, this is actually way more beneficial for the Raptors and also the Lakers. I want them to go a little higher because I want Daddy LeBron to get another ring. So I don't want him to be in like that 7th spot. So it was like this weird era. I was like, yes, no, yes, like back and forth. So it's strange. It's a strange feeling in position to be put in, I feel.
Yes, no, yes is a really good, like, just descriptor of the Raptors season for the average fan, I think, because, it's a good point. And as someone who, I guess I'm still not all the way on the side of like caring too much about when we draft. But also I think, you get talent through the draft. That's one way that you do it. And when you see that your team, which still has talent, is kind of like in this bleak scenario, it does feel, even though against the Clippers, it's like we're playing so well, but then it's kind of like, Kyle's not playing, Trent's not playing, OG's not playing. And there's just this weird vibe to it. And like, even when we beat the Lakers, it kind of felt like joke's on you guys. We got hot, but we don't really care that we won this game, if that makes sense. Like, so it's just, it's a weird vibe. Where are you at, George? We're not mathematically eliminated. It's definitely a journey to this idea of us getting the 10th seed. And like Alan said, it makes sense to be kind of looking at the draft. So yeah, where are you at as a fan with these last 7 games?
I don't think we're gonna make the play-in tournament. I'm also like I'm like almost the opposite of Alan, but it's weirdly exactly the same. I don't really care if we make the play-in or not because I think I would kind of prefer not to make the play-in because like we had to sit through this season and it would be kind of nice to get something out of it instead of just like giving the Nets a run for their money in the first round or something. But I think that like the nice thing about this season compared to the other teams, so like the Wizards, the Bulls, it's like Wizards, Bulls, Raptors, kind of maybe Pacers even in that group trying to like
Pacers are like, hey, we're starting to lose. Keep your eye on us. Also a little bit of a coach mutiny happening. No worries.
I made it. It sucks, right?
Yep.
That makes me hate them because of Nate. Okay. Anyways, so I think the Wizards are gonna make it above the Raptors into the play-in tournament. But if we make it into the play-in tournament, that would be fun. But if we don't, then we get a great draft pick, and it doesn't really matter. And unlike the Wizards are playing really well and they're real hot, but I don't feel like they have a ton of like exciting things that to look forward to in the future, like on the team itself. And the same with the Bulls, whereas the Raptors, like we're not doing well this year, but like there's so much promise for the future, even without a draft pick. Like I know Malachi hasn't played well the last 2 games, but hey, reigning rookie of the month in the East, baby. Jalen Harris last night I like looked at the box score and I was like
smooth. Yeah,
I was like, right now, Jalen Harris, like to open the second half, I think like their lineup they had on, I was like, Jalen Harris has the most points than everyone on the floor right now. Like he had 8 and like no one else had quite that. So I mean, I would like to see them get a high pick. I think that would be fun for us. But if we don't, we don't, and we have fun. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think those are both, like super fair takes. I'm somewhere in the middle of like all of that. Like I don't care. I feel like the way this season finishes, I don't care too much either way, if that makes sense. Obviously I would like some miracle to happen, but I think we're in miracle territory, so that doesn't seem very rational. And as far as the pick, I don't think it's going to jump too much higher if we lose out. Like I think it's kind of seems like it's in that 7 to 12 range. So I feel like it's going to be higher than, Joey Graham comes to mind. Alan, I think Pirtle is the other person. Pirtle, I think was like 8th or 9th. So we're going to get a talented player for sure. Okay, let's sorry, you got some else?
No, I'm just saying, we just been like competently drafting for the past couple of years. So I'm like, I'm excited for this one because I'm like, oh wow, a competent hands on the wheel when it comes to a player that might be like 8 to 14 or something like that. So I'm like, okay, that seems really excitable. And I gotta like mentally decouple my brain or divorce my brain from the idea of like a Raptors win is me being happy and a Raptors loss is me being sad. I just need to be like, this is 2010 or 2004. Just take it. Just enjoy the basketball. Enjoy watching your favorite players play. And that's where I got to go with.
The cognitive dissonance is tough because and it's also like weird with them being in Tampa too. There's this whole other like othering kind of vibe happening. I mean, I'm excited to see for sure what we can do with a higher pick we've had in a really long time, especially with the success and the development of all these like later round picks.
I think the draft for next year though is like really, really hot in the top, and then it kind of levels off pretty quick. Unlike this year where it was like everyone's kind of like you get a pick that's 3rd, you get a pick that's 15th. That it's going to be about the same. I think next year is different, but I'm not 100% sure.
My only, I mean, we'll definitely do tons of draft stuff, but my only kind of like, I think draft caveat is that every year the draft has this like specific type of narrative. Like this draft is like this. And I never find that to be like accurate or true. Like, and I'm not saying that this won't be like, okay, there's a big drop off after 5, but it's just like when I was a hardcore draft dude, when the Raptors were so bad, there was just endless amounts of like, okay, after 7, that's when the cutoff happens. And then it's like Giannis gets drafted at 12 or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
okay. Okay. That's a good point. I've never been too involved in the draft.
Well, you know what?
College
it also changes because I think teams have scouted better. So like maybe my whole draft take or like my draft feelings are just like this weird, like I've secretly become like a Laker-y person that doesn't involve myself in the draft. And like, I'm discounting it too much. Trying to keep an open mind, Jeez Louise. Okay, Alan, let's go to you on this light question. Seeing Serge made me think about it. Who's the most entertaining Raptor right now?
I think going with my heart, I got to say Fred. I think just watching him blossom and become the absolute star that he who he is great. But as a Raptor fan, I think like, everything kind of changes when you change like your perspective of things. I think seeing Khem Birch, we were just talking about earlier, just seeing his growth and his stature, his hungriness for rebounds, hunting it down, being able to find out, like he recognizes bounces. I love that. It's a skill that no one really talks about. When you see a ball coming from one direction, you kind of get a sense with the velocity of it where it's going to land up, and he kind of like judges it and goes to it, and he's hungry and he fights for these things. And I truly think that if we had this guy earlier in the season and we didn't have Aaron Baines on our team, I feel like we would be 3rd place. I say 3rd place. But
you always said you loved Baines.
Did I say that? I think I said Baines was the first Raptor that I just like personally tore a new because like
I remember that was from day one. Everyone was like, wow, this Baines guy, he might be all right, and you're like, you guys need to shut up. And we're like, whoa, easy, Alan. He's like, I'm coming. and I'm gonna shut you guys up. I'm like, whoa,
It's
it's
just-
COVID. Like,
It's only because I've seen him play everywhere else and I hated him. So I was just like, oh no, he's on our team.
you were very
I-
right.
And I
Yeah,
kept my
you were
mouth shut.
very right.
I here's the thing. I didn't want to just because I didn't. Here's the thing. Our voices echo, and these players hear this stuff, and they want to
Yeah.
play and respond to it. Like Terrence Ross, Patrick Patterson, they all heard our fans talk shit about them, and it's not good. It's not a good scene. But Aaron Baines, I'm gonna make a special occasion for that dude. He just, I don't know, just
That's what's
taking the
happening.
wrong shots. He just ruins like the chemistry of certain things. He doesn't. I don't know. I have a whole thing about him, but Cam Birch. Leaps and bounds way better of a player, a hungry young player, and I'm excited to have a Canuck on the team. And I once again, I truly think if we had him earlier in the season, third place. I truly believe first place, but I'm not going to say that. But third place, I will debate anybody with and say that's where we would be.
I love it. I love the idea of what you would say and what you would debate because I have that too. Because I'll say all sorts of shit, and then someone's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, let me back that off." Okay, George, who's the most entertaining player for you?
Well, I took entertaining in a totally different way. I took it like off court entertaining. So I
That's
have
totally
two.
fine.
Okay. I think Gary Trent Jr. might be
Yeah.
because he's
That's a great
pretty.
answer.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a not like he's new and he like just jumped on with the Raptors. So he's almost too much in terms of his like excitement for being on the team that sometimes I'm like, do you think the other guys actually are like, you're kind of a loser? But
Gary Trent. Oh, I was trying to make a fucking joke. I was gonna say Gary Trent Keener, and then I realized it wasn't very funny. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but he is a bit of a keener, but I like it. I think the fans like that, and he brings a certain element. Like he always makes the like fit Instagram accounts. NBA, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about.
So him and the other person, and I'm worried that this is just because they're all new, but like I think another super entertaining person is Freddie Gillespie.
I think Freddie is because he's interesting to me in the way that like almost like opposite of like Kem Birch is like, I know what I can do. I finally have this opportunity to prove it. Like, he even referenced being micromanaged by the Magic, which you can totally see, right? He's so ready to expand and do more things. He is particular where it's kind of like, but it's like every game, Birch is like, oh, I can hit like a if you give me like a drop shot, like from 6 feet, if you reliably give me that, I'll can them. And it's like, that's awesome. It's like, he seems like he can add a bunch of that. Whereas Freddie is almost like, hard to tell if it's like, are you gonna like be like, I don't know, like amazing actually, or are you kind of just gonna round into like a pretty okay player? And I think it's like,
he's got so much like want to do amazing, and like he works so hard, but he's really like rough, like he needs a lot of polish. Yeah, but he was very good last night. But also, like in interviews, that guy is so funny and charming, and that's kind of a surge thing. Like this year, we didn't really have that person who could talk to the media. Like, I mean, Fred could talk to the media, but he was never like,
he's kind of serious.
Yeah, it was nice to get a Freddie Gillespie who's
totally
like just jokes.
Having some jokers.
Who do you think the funniest Raptor is?
Funniest Raptor, I'm going to say OG, and you're going to hate this, Alan. I think Aaron Baines is probably pretty funny.
If he was running that account, that would be the funniest thing ever.
Imagine if he was running that account. That'd be great. My choice for this, by the way, is Boucher. I just think when Boucher is like cooking, everyone's like, it's such a circus. People are like, what is that three? Like, how's this guy blocking everything? And also like the fact that he blocks people's threes is like, what? You're not supposed to do that. Okay. Last Raptors question, Matt. I want to bring you in. I know I'm throwing you in the fire here because I don't know if you had any time to plan this, but I'll go to you last. But hop in because I know you'll want to answer this.
God.
Let's go to George first, and I've been watching a little bit of The Circle season 2.
Explain
And-
it for us, for those who don't know what it is.
Oh God, I probably the whole question is going to fall apart if I have to explain The Circle. But let me just try and say that it's a reality TV show where no one sees each other, and they only communicate via text.
Okay.
So if that's, but Matt, if you're wondering, just quickly Google a synopsis. Well, because like it's going to be better than what I just said.
But there's catfishing involved, so they're
Yes, like you could pretend to be me, or in the new season, there's someone who pretends to be Lance Bass.
Wait, I haven't gotten that far.
So sorry.
like
They honestly, I was just making up an idea. Someone pretends to be Dumbledore, like you don't
Okay.
even really know.
so
What I just said, George, isn't true. Okay, you know what?
Well, now
Way
we
too
know
much
that's not
description of a
true.
circle. Way too much description of a circle. Let's move on. In the premise of catfishing, George, who would be the best like Raptors catfisher, and who would they be pretending to be?
Shit. Okay, sorry. I didn't read the questions ahead of time.
Fair enough.
Okay, so
Okay, well, I'll give you a sec then. Alan, did
Thank
you
you.
read this question?
Yeah.
Okay, George, I'll give you some brainstorming time.
Yeah.
okay, I got my answers. Sorry.
I got Gary Trent Jr. for
Okay.
the same reasons that George said earlier. I think he came in here. He knew exactly what we wanted. He did all the things. He said all the right things. He pushed all the right buttons. He knows exactly what's up. So I think if he was on The Circle, he would do the same thing. He would be starting all these chats up. He'd be setting up alliances. He would be shit talking the right people, and he would win his way to the top. I think Gary Trent Jr. Has his finger on the pulse. And you know what? It's doctor time. And I don't know what that means, but I feel like as I say this sentence, I want it to finish well. And I think I have. Thank you.
Totally.
I-
That's a good one. And also, I'm going to start saying it's doctor time.
it's doctor
Totally.
time.
It's doctor time.
It's like
Okay,
such a-
to buy you guys even a bit more time,
Snap a
I can bust
stethoscope.
mine out. Unless George, you want to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, hit me up.
Okay, just in case I don't want you to steal mine that I just came up with.
Fair enough.
I think it would be OG. He
Okay.
would be really good at catfishing as Serge Ibaka.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
crossed
Okay.
my mind
I
too.
like that a lot.
Did I steal yours, Maddie?
No, but I mean that's a good one if we're thinking alike, because I was like, maybe I thought they would be connected for sure. So
Yeah,
very
he would
good.
be
By the
pretending
scarf.
to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
the
that.
profile picture would just be a scarf.
Like, who's that?
That's
Is that OG? Serge, I can't tell.
and it would just be like I do art. I like it. But oh, that's something Serge would say.
Yeah.
Mine is. Oh wait, sorry. Am I interrupting?
No.
Okay, mine is. I had to go with the who I think is the most wise person on the team. So I'm going with Kyle Lowry.
Oh,
And it's like a fully invested catfish for owner of the team, Larry Tenenbaum. So he's studied Larry Tenenbaum. He knows all of the different things he owns, and he has a good profile picture of Larry, hugging Raptors, but also he knows a lot about basketball. So I feel like Kyle would do one of those things where he gets to play into his own knowledge, but also he knows Larry, and Larry's super rich, so he knows what rich people do.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, Matt, what's up? Who's your catfishing person?
Okay, I don't know why, but I think it's because his personality is still a little elusive to us. Because he's a rookie. I'm going with Malachi Flynn,
Okay,
and I think
I almost went Flynn.
I just I think that to stay with what's going on right now, I think he could catfish someone as Bill Gates.
Oh,
And
I like that a lot.
I think that there just the way that he's playing, he's just showing a lot of little surprises here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he could really commit to it and, surprise us,
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little,
Yeah, I like
a little Microsoft here, a little Monsanto there.
Just a little inside scoop on like Ballmer, like from the old
Oh.
days, Windows 95, etc.
I love you. That's 3. Like you're trying to get to Bill Gates and Balmer. You're working your way there. Like it's on the brain. Like.
I keep seeing 100 memes of like them when Windows 95 got released, and they're all like dancing to start me up on the stage. Have you seen it? And they're like,
oh, it's good. Yeah.
Buddy's getting back in the club.
I just know for your birthday, for anyone who's listening,
Steve
please
Ballmer
send
cameo?
Matt a Melinda Bates cameo.
Melinda Gates?
Yeah. Is it Belinda or Melinda?
I think it's Melinda.
I think it's
don't know.
Melinda.
Melinda Mates.
Yeah.
But
Sounded
you
like
said
you said
Bates.
Belinda.
You know what? We're just scatting on Melinda Gates' name at this point, which is totally fine. But we should move on. And let's pause for a sec while we go to some NBA stuff. And I think that's what Matt wanted. Okay, Matty. Okay, Matty. Please, good sir, give me your most. I keep saying the word delicious, but it works. Delicious NBA sting.
National Basketball Association.
Sometimes it's in there. Let's go to Alan first here. I guess, take this question whichever way you want, because it doesn't have to be like they're going to storm everybody in the playoffs. It can be like a bad team that people are too down on or whatever. Just what team is everybody sleeping on?
Ooh, I got two. Okay. I think on one part, the Jazz. I think the Utah Jazz are playing excellent basketball. Looks like Spurs. Looks like English Premier League soccer. The only agenda the ball has is going in the rim. It has nobody. Nobody. It's not about like individual stats. It's about a team game, and it's a beautiful game to watch. And I think it just comes down to people just not watching the Jazz. I think that's what it comes down to, and they're not sexy. And LeBron said it best. It's like nobody watches the Jazz. It's true, nobody does. But it's great basketball if you ever get a chance to watch it. So I think that's something. But another part of me wants to say the Memphis Grizzlies. I think with the return of Jaren Jackson Jr., the confidence and boost of John Morant, who recently said that he was a top 5 point guard in the league. I love that. It's not true, but I love that about you. I love that you feel that way about yourself. That means you're ready to go. And if there was any indicator of what they can do and what they are going to do, look no further than last season with that playing game when we saw him up against Dame Lillard. I think that was a beautiful battle. I think John Morant's ready for it. I think the Grizzlies are ready to make a statement. If they were in the Eastern Conference, they'd be like one of the top 4 teams. So good on them for readjusting, getting everything done, and a beautiful second season. And I want to see JB go far too as well. It's a great team.
Hell yeah. I love both of those answers so much. I wasn't really thinking about Memphis, but that definitely lands. I guess, I wasn't really, I've been, every time I look at the play-in, I just keep looking at Golden State, but that's a great answer. George, who's your slept on team or teams?
I think it's, I wasn't thinking the Grizzlies either, but I think that's a good one. The one I'm picking is the Hornets. I think they're a little slept on.
That's a good one too.
Thank you. They when they lost like LaMelo and Gordon Hayward for a while, and they just I thought they were not going to be doing well, and they were able to continue to play pretty good basketball without them. And now LaMelo's back, and I don't know if Gordon's back or what, but
I think he's coming back. Yeah.
And they were missing someone else too. I can't remember who. But whatever. Well, I think they're Oh
no, I was just gonna say this might be brand new, but I know that Bridges just got put in health and safety protocols.
Oh really? Yeah, he is out, and so is Cody Martin. But Devontae Graham's day to day too. Listen, have you guys this season, because I have to like make bets every week about what teams I think are going to win and stuff.
Mhm.
And like it changes so quickly because of how many injuries there are. And like I'll say something about a
crazy.
team and then I'll look and I'll be like, wait a second.
Totally.
What, you know, like I was really high on the Spurs earlier and I don't even know how they're doing anymore.
Well, yeah, a bunch of people have had like season-ending injuries or just like, health and safety protocol at like the worst times. So obviously, as Raptors fans, we know, but even the Bulls, right? They made a big like push at the deadline, and Levine gets COVID. It's like, what? That's just like some teams have just been wildly unlucky this year.
Yeah.
Which feels weird when it's the whole league. So I think I know where you're coming from there. But yeah, Charlotte, I mean, I think LaMelo has been the difference-making type of rookie that can make a difference. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm, don't want to foreshadow too much for our the next question, but like, I'm very excited to see him in the playoffs. My underestimated team, and I feel like this is me going all the way into like investing in something I've already been wrong in before. But I think people are underestimating the Milwaukee Bucks because of their poor playoff performances in the past. But I've also I haven't learned any lessons, is what I'm saying. Because when they went to play Miami last year, I'm like, Bucks, no worries. And then like even after they started doing bad, I'm like, pretty sure the Bucks are going to turn this around. And like, yeah, they just didn't at all and got clowned pretty hard. But I think they seem like that team that finally is kind of like battle tested enough that they're not going to stress out when things go poorly. And I think Drew Holiday is very different than Bledsoe. Yeah. So that's my take there.
I have faith in the Bucks players. It's just Budenholzer. I just have no faith in that man.
And for me to have faith in him is like just seems like a bad idea. So
sorry.
No,
Go ahead, George.
I was just gonna say we're bringing up the Bucks, and I'm not trying to start a fight with Alan, but I think that the Utah Jazz this year are last year's Bucks, where they're having a great season, but I don't think they're going to go very far in the playoffs.
That's been my kind of like sentiment. I felt like prove it to me in the playoffs, but like the ability to do next man rotation, even though Donovan Mitchell's been out, and them to still kind of be competing these last couple of games, even though they've lost a couple. I'm like, okay, at this point in time, I feel like what the Utah Jazz fans are going through right now is a lot of how the Raptors fans were going through in 2019. I feel like it's this amazing team, great basketball that's being played every day, like every night. And the rest of the league is just completely just bird box to it. Like we just don't know it exists. We're not really giving them the love and attention and the flowers they deserve. So that's why I'm switching my tune mid-season, because I was 100% like that. I was like, prove it to me in the playoffs, because like I'm not a fan of Donovan Mitchell. He's great, but I'm a Devin Booker guy. So that's been my kind of like sentiment for all that. But yeah, I agree. Like it would definitely take like a good first round matchup for them to kind of put that statement on. And I think they could catch a team slipping. But also once again, untested.
Yeah. I think that's like the perfect transition, because I want to talk about new people in the playoffs. Like, we saw it with Siakam last year. It's like, when you're the number one guy, how is a team going to, how is a team going to zero in on you? And yeah, this year it's, we got LaMelo is coming in, DeAndre Ayton and Booker. I know they have Chris Paul, but it's their first time doing the playoffs, Julius Randle, who's like coming in his first time as a number one option. Trae Young, obviously. Although please correct me if I'm wrong. Atlanta didn't make the playoffs last year, right?
No.
Okay. No, they didn't.
Okay. For a second, I was like, wait a second, did they?
Because Vince Carter, remember his whole thing where he retired?
Right.
And then
yeah.
Yes. So that's the only reason I remember.
That just made me sad, but in like a life is beautiful way. Sorry. Sorry, I'm feeling things, everybody. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where I was. Oh yeah, all these kind of like new people coming into the playoffs, like how they're going to be game planned. Like, George, let me go to you. Like all those people that I mentioned, like who are you most excited by, or if there's someone else It doesn't even have to be their first time in the playoffs, but like someone who you just want to see how they do. Like you're excited.
Okay, I do have an answer for this, but I'm kind of worried that I'm wrong about whether or not they're going to the playoffs. But De'Aaron Fox on Sacramento Kings. I don't think
it would be
I
think they're in like the Raptors scenario. I'd like to see him in the playoffs
fifth
too,
place in the West. Maybe they're
I thought they were here. Oh, let me just check. I thought they
maybe
were in
they're
11th.
just in 5th in their conference. You know how sometimes it tells you then you're like, you look up the Raptors stats and you're like, hey, they're only like 5th in the Eastern Atlanta. And you're
no, they're
me?
in 12th. In the
they
East
are
or in the West, sorry. And there is an outside chance of them making the play-in, but they're looking like pretty similar to Raptors, where it's like,
damn it. Okay, because he's like one of my faves, and I would really like them. And they were so fun at the beginning, but they probably, if they're in 12th, they probably won't because now Halliburton's also out. So I guess I should just answer the question with somebody you actually said.
Although De'Aaron Fox is a great example of someone who I think is like just like, you know, like tearing teams up like fairly successfully in the regular season. And I'd love to see how people deal with his speed during like a full 7-game series. Like, is his speed mitigated or is he just like exploding on people?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm changing my answer, but again, I'm not sure if this person's never made it. I'm pretty sure they played for the Suns their whole career, but
okay.
I guess Devin Booker.
Yeah, no, Booker is he scored 70 points. They made that big run last year.
That was magical, wasn't it? Like Cinderella.
Oh, it was incredible. Do you think Booker will like is he, well, the Phoenix guys are weird. Like, do you think Booker is going to be like fine, or is he just going to like, or is he like, oh my God, he's cold from the field now?
No, I think well, I'm not sure. I am only judging from last year in the playoffs, but the guy seems to like thrive under pressure. And then you mix it with I almost said Paul George. I don't even drink, but for some reason I feel so hungover from last night.
You were at a real basketball game. You're absolutely forgiven. And
I haven't gone anywhere
you're high
in
on
so long.
Trying to find Serge.
Thank you.
Like, where's Waldo in the Staples Center for Serge? It's tiring.
Who am I trying to say? The point guard for the Suns,
Paul.
who's a Chris Paul, not Paul George. Okay, Chris Paul. I think like he's gonna help enough for the winning too. So I think Devin Booker is gonna play very well in the playoffs, and I think
Chris Paul
is also just going to keep them afloat. So I'm excited to watch the Suns. I think like it depends on the matchups.
Mm-hmm. The West is going to be so wild. Like one of those teams could get Golden State or the Lakers or you know, a Memphis team that's like healthy and hungry at the right time. Yeah, I'm very excited. Like I'm not part of the like, you know, the Chris Paul MVP thing. I think is a bit of a stretch, but I think he's had one of the most interesting years, like honestly, in NBA history. But Alan, yeah, let's go to you on this last question here. Any of those players, or you know, like George, like you know, Fox, or anyone you like haven't seen in like high leverage situation?
Yeah. Once again, indicators from last season. I think John Morant, I gave him his flowers earlier, but I think that's going to be exciting to kind of see because like now he's there. And so I think he's going to like really, you know, jump to the occasion. I was going to go with Booker. I think Booker, you know, he's been knocking at that door for how many seasons, and this is his time. This is his time. And I feel like there is tremendous amount of pressure on him and what he does with these other players. I feel like just an invitation there is enough, and it's a successful season at that point in time. I think with Devin Booker, it's like you have to just show out now. You've shown us all this amazing regular season basketball. You've been praised by analyst after analyst. You dropped 70 points. Let's see what you do. And I think with the backing of Chris Paul at point guard, I think he's gonna like, you know, ground that team out and get them to where they need to. And like also shout out to Monty Williams, because like, you know, winning 8 games straight is a hard feat. And I can only imagine doing that after not playing basketball for how long, and now you're in a bubble. So shout out to them for last year, what they've done, and hopefully they can continue that this year. But I also want to say I am so happy for Andrew Wiggins to play some friggin' playoff basketball. All right.
I can't believe I didn't. Oh my God,
York
Wiggins.
Region, let's go. Let's do it. We're here. All right,
Wiggins.
Glenn Shields. We did it. Even though I didn't go to his school, I went to the school near his school. But shout out to the Wiggins family, the crew. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Mitchell. Shout out to your mom, dad, everybody. So good for them.
I am. You know what? That's a nice. I think Andrew Wiggins is one of the nice things this season, because he's like, yes, he's a first overall pick. Yes, in so many people's eyes, he whatever, but he still is good and like helping them, do all sorts of things they need to do, and scoring at a good volume and hitting more threes. And I can't believe I didn't think of him. He is a great example of someone who I'm super excited, because playoffs are so different, where you're going up against the same people every night. I guess in his situation, he might only get, if they don't get to a playoff series, he might have the one game. So who knows? But back to Booker, because I think you both brought him up for a good reason. He's like, what new player is getting their first try and also coming in as like the second or first seed? It's like he's going to be like maybe the best, have the best record in the NBA. And also it's like, here's your first playoff experience. I hope it goes well. It's like, and I think, Chris Paul booing him is really going to help. But to your point, Alan, I think DeAndre Ayton is like, woof. At least I don't have to deal with all the pressure that Booker is going to have to deal with. Yeah. Because he's been in the league longer, and he's gotten, unlike someone like Morant, he's gotten a lot of flowers already. So people will turn on him hard, I think, if he doesn't do well.
And this season, I've seen a lot of like Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker banter, and like, who's better? Who do you prefer? And mostly for me. But I think this is the season where it's like, now you can differentiate yourself. Like, we had the Darren Williams and Chris Paul kind of conversation. And, like,
don't bring
this
that
is
up.
an opportunity.
It's one of my biggest mistakes.
Did you go Darren Williams?
I did, and it was like far too long, and it was like well past the point. It's like,
you're like, he could turn it around.
For anyone who has like a bad take, just remember, like, I argued to who would listen that Darren Williams was going to have a better career than Chris Paul. So
listen, I went Greg Oden over Kevin Durant, so don't worry about that. And
that's a biggie. Fair enough.
I was like, left hand, right hand, and he's 7'1". He's got it, and then he just didn't have it.
I think I was gonna say Randall, just because I think New York is gonna be aggressive, and I feel like Randall, he's hitting all these like fadeaways and like incredible shots. It's like, you better actually even do more of that in the playoffs, because it's gonna be harder. And the New York media, who knows, maybe they'll just be happy to be there. And it's like the first time, so that pressure is not quite that way. And, I think Trae Young's going to I'm very interested to see how he's like game plan for, if he's hot for a series, what does that look like? If he's super cold, are people like, we can't win with this guy? You know what I mean? I think with Trae's going to have a lot of stylistic kind of like, people are going to have their eyes on him.
Yeah. He's not my favorite.
He's not your favorite?
No.
I feel like
that sounded so rough. I just mean, I wouldn't, I think he's so talented, but I wouldn't want him on my team.
He's definitely got a lot of cilantro vibes. Like you don't meet a lot of people who are like meh about Trae. It seems like people are like, I don't like that guy, or they're kind of like, he's got a certain swagger that I just love.
I'm excited for, like every NBA player finally has their I'm in the league haircut, and like they're not a rookie anymore. Like, remember when Blake Griffin came in, he had that like very specific lineup, but then he got like his hair and he came into his own and he got his own persona. I'm waiting for Trae Young's like transition to having his adult in the league veteran haircut, because he still has that baby hair kind of look, that very kind of slick back, kind of loose curl kind of thing. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm ready for it. Once you do that, then I know you're in the league. Then I know you're DeMar DeRozan with the braids or whatnot.
Oh, DeMar's hair this year has been extra perfect.
May I suggest a nice comb over might look good on Trae?
I was just gonna say, I think it's gonna be shaved. I think that's when, because he's balding, right?
Is he?
I think that's what's going on with his hair.
I thought the hair was a bit light up top, I'll say. But again, I don't know, different styles.
When he comes on home with the baldness and he gets like that little the beard game going, he's gonna be just dropping 45 points. If LeBron got rid of that part of his brain that cared about his hairline, he'd drop an extra 10 points.
Oh yeah. I think we can all hope and pray that Trae does the Drew Gooden weird patch of hair in your lower neck. If you've never seen it, please just Google Drew Gooden haircut or Drew Gooden loses a bet. Or I'm not exactly sure why he ended up rocking that hair for so long, but it is particular. It's like something you do to a Sims. But I think it's silly time. Let's do some quickish questions. What's up, you two? You want to do some quickish questions?
Yeah, I'll stop Googling Trae Young hair.
It's doctor time, baby.
Please don't stop Googling Trae Young hair. But Maddie, I know you're back there. Please give me your most delicious quickish questions. Sting.
Quickish Questions.
Sting.
Whoa.
That's right.
Color change.
We got colors in here now, okay? StreamYard's
Whoa.
getting bright. This is Quickish Questions. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it. I'm going to read these questions as clearly and concisely as possible. Hopefully they'll be clear. They might not be clear. As a guest, you have to answer as quickly as humanly possible. You can't phone a friend. You can't delay. No ums, no ahs. You just got to let it fly from your brain. That's the rules. Rarely followed, but those are the rules. And this is usually the time I use to grab my questions. And guess what? I didn't do it this time. So I'm searching for my questions.
What could the questions be? Do you have a lot today? Do you have a little?
Oh, there's a lot today, Matt. So
Oh,
I hope
dear.
you're ready for it. And I hope you are, I hope you're ready to answer as quickly as you possibly can.
Absolutely, every time.
All right, here we are. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're going to go Alan, George, Matt.
Okay.
Alan.
Yo.
Isn't Westbrook the best?
At triple doubles, yeah, sure. Dexter. That's his
I know.
answer.
I love when you know who's asking. Okay. George.
Mhm.
What can Iverson really do better than Kyrie? Dexter got a second one.
Maybe be like a fun person to hang out with.
Fair enough.
Damn.
Matt,
Yes.
if you have a clip of if you had a clip of you playing basketball become an NBA Top Shot moment, what would it be?
I think it would be one of those wild, like I'm sitting on top of the Rogers Center
Okay.
and I whip it off and hit like an outdoor net nearby in Queens.
Right. So it's like a dude, like type of celebration video.
Yeah.
That's your Top Shot?
Yeah, I think so.
That's not legal. But it's a Top Shot. Alan, how will the Raptors be title contenders again, and will it happen next season?
Yes, we will draft both Amani Bates and Cade Cunningham, and Kem Birch will average a triple double with rebounds, points, and steals.
Whoa.
That's not even confidence. That's just facts.
That's just facts.
George,
Yes.
if not the Raptors, since we're technically eliminated, getting there, who are you pulling for to win the Larry Obie this year?
I want the Knicks to win.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay.
I
like
know
how-
that
that's
we
just-
don't like the Knicks as Raptors fans, but I like
Why
them
not?
this year.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Maddie.
Yeah.
What will Maddie D see first? A Raptors championship again, or the ending of Space Jam?
Specifically about me. Okay.
Yeah, this is a question about you and
Matt
for
Dillon.
you. my friend.
Okay. Wow. That's a tough one. I think it's going to be that championship.
Wow.
See, yeah.
Guy won't watch Space Jam, eh? Alan, which Los Angeles team will go deeper into the playoffs?
Oh, my heart says the Lakers because Daddy LeBron, and my brain says the Clippers because they're pretty deep this season. But let's go Lakers. Let's go Lakers.
Doodaloo. George, does the play-in tournament have the possibility of turning into the dunk contest, aka being good once every 5 years?
I think it's gonna be almost better than the championship.
I think it's going to be
tournament-
so fun. Yeah,
I do
agree.
too. I think it's gonna be like some of the best basketball.
It's going to be, yeah. Matt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a question specifically for Alan. So wait a second.
No, ask it of Matt.
You know what? I'm going to. Matt. Hey,
Guys.
Alan. Who's on your NBA first team as of now besides Steph Curry? So who do you think Alan thinks is better than Steph Curry right now?
Better than Steph Curry.
Yeah, according to Alan. And we'll go to him right after.
Oh my God, I don't know. Can I just pick one? That might be better.
Pick 3 players who you think.
Three
for
players
sure
that I think are
Alan
for
thinks
sure
is better than Steph Curry. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say LeBron James. I'll say Kawhi,
Okay.
and I'll do no, I'm not gonna say that one. I'll do a Giannis.
Are those correct? LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi, are they better than Steph, Alan?
I didn't say those people. I think I would have gone with Steph, either Chris Paul or Westbrook. And then forwards, we got Giannis, Jokic, and then Embiid.
Okay. Checks out. I don't know. Like, I didn't have like a hard opinion about that. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Should have said, hell no, you're wrong, Alan.
Alan, you're so wrong, and you're so banned
I
for
knew
what you
it.
did to me in Bump. Alan, actually, you know what? The last one's going to be an all play, so I'm also going to ask everyone this same question. Alan, would Jokic winning MVP feel right?
Yeah, he's the best player in the league.
George, would Jokic winning the MVP this year feel right?
Yeah, he's great. He's the best player in the league, and he's also like likable.
Yeah. Matt, are you gonna go with the crowd here, or are you like, does it feel wrong that Jokic is winning? Might win.
I really can't think of anything to say why it'd be wrong. I think he's had a fantastic season and very deserving. And why not shake it up a little bit from the old Giannis train, right?
Jokic friendly pod. You heard it
Yeah.
here first. Okay, last question. This is from our pal Anthony for the play-in. So let me just read the question, and then we'll figure it out. An evil genie grants you 3 wishes to help you prepare the Raptors for the play-in and eventual playoff run. The catch is if anyone suspects your moves, the genie curses the Raptors forever. What low-key moves do you make to help the Raptors knowing this information? So, Alan, what do you do to, I guess, help the Raptors with these genie wishes? Knowing that if the cover gets blown, there's like a serious curse. Like, it's not a friendly genie.
Yeah. I will do a Kadeem Harrelson inspired Marlon Wayans a stunt and pull a 6th man, and I love that. I will become a ghost for the Toronto Raptors, and I will sit on top of the net, and I will smack away all the balls that come into our rim, and any balls that the Raptors shoot on me, I'll just throw it in the net, and no one will catch me because I'm a ghost, and ghosts do not have ID. So
honestly, you heard here first. You want to be subtle? Become a ghost.
Yeah. Who are you? I'm a ghost. I can't verify it. Can't verify
honestly, shout out to 6 Man. Great movie. I loved it. A guy dies in an alley-oop. It's mess. It's traumatic. But George, what kind of, like, this genie's giving you these wishes. What are you gonna do that no one's gonna suspect to help the Raptors?
Okay, I do want to just clarify off the jump. I don't really understand the question, but
very fair.
And also, secondly, my answer is I'm taking this question I don't understand very seriously.
Okay.
So I would make it so that, okay, it's gonna sound like I'm doing this for the people, but I would make COVID in Ontario go away. But it wouldn't be for you guys. It would be so the Raptors could go back and play in Toronto.
Whoa.
I feel like they'd be like I wouldn't get caught because they'd be like, well, you know, the Ontario government, they've been so on top of things that they did this. So no one would think it was me who did it, you know?
That's a wonderful answer. And that would be that would be great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Matt.
Yes.
We got a ghost.
Yeah.
We got COVID going away. What other subtle thing would you do to help the Raptors?
Well, Freddie, this one is actually for you, and I think you'd really appreciate it. Now, we can't fully use a big ball of flubber.
Yes.
But we can microdose it.
Thank you.
So if we take just little bits and we inject a little bit into all those aching tendons on their legs and then their knees and their ankles and stuff. So just in case, keep that stuff nice and, you know, flexible, and then put a little bit on their heels, get a little more jump, just microdosing though. Let's not get crazy here, folks. And the only player who gets none is Aaron Baines. So that if anytime someone, the genie or whoever, cocks their eye, we throw Baines out there and he just plays like he does.
Yeah, and the genie's like,
fair enough. And there you go.
And Baines finally serves his role.
Yeah,
as
and
the greatest decoy of all time.
Saves the season.
The role he was born to play.
Well, I was gonna play, but Matt, that honestly, I don't even feel insulted. You know, I was coming in with a flubber based scenario, and I swear to God, I was. And microdosing flubber is way better. I was like, mine was gonna be like, put it in the gator. I didn't even know. But yeah, yours is much better. Just off the fly. I know they're doing some I think the Warner or whatever network is doing. They're turning like a New Orleans and a Golden State mini 2-game series or something into a cartoon narrative. Like somehow during the game they're gonna do storylines. So I mean, maybe they could do a storyline where the Raptors are just put in the play-in even if they don't deserve it. But I think the genie would suspect that, honestly. So flubber is better. I shouldn't have even said it. Flubber is.
I mean, if you've got other ideas for the flubber,
I don't.
They're endless.
Well, I do have other ideas for the flubber, but you really massaged it. It was good. The microdosing and okay, that's it. We made it to the end of the pod. Flubber did make it in, which is huge for me. And this is really fun. Thank you so much, both you guys, and everyone who listens and subscribes and comments, all that kind of stuff. Everything is impactful, so appreciate it very, very much. Let's go to you first, George. Besides living in a somewhat of a post-pandemic world and going to Raptors games in real life, what's up? What are you doing? Where can people check you out?
So as you said before, I make videos for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And I think there's gonna be some new stuff coming with that, so watch out for that.
Check it.
I also am at Georgea Brooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I think on TikTok I'm We the Georgea, which isn't that great of a name.
Hey, but for Raptors fans, they get it.
Yeah. They get it, but when I just said it out loud, now I was like, wait, that doesn't rhyme like I thought it did.
Honestly, don't worry about it. You already wrote it down. I'm Grape Alien on TikTok. Okay.
Grape Alien?
Yeah, it's a puppet I have, and it's an initiative I never started.
I'm gonna add to right now. I mostly make Raptors shit on TikTok, so
sweet.
Check it.
I will. Alan, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. You can follow me. Yeah, you can follow me at the Alan Shane on Twitter. On Instagram, Alan Shane. Wish I had it for the same for those. If you like watching people play video games, I'm on Twitch too at Shoeless Lewis. And if you want to follow me on TikTok, also Shoeless Lewis. I don't wear shoes while I play the game, so that's the name.
Makes sense to me. If you were a guy that always wears shoes when he plays games, I'd be like, sir.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not the content you want if you're wearing shoes while playing video games. I am just the opposite.
Give your feet some air. Is what I'll say. Yeah. But we guys, thank you. We've made it to the end of the pod, and I think we can all go and enjoy this day. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, let's get out there and love each other. Matt, if you feel like we're good to go, please, sir, just give me those sweet words. Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.